And then it's a matter of creating a drawing sheet. Creating the part's not enough. You don't turn in the part to me. You turn in a drawing sheet to me. So how do we do that? Click on the design button. Drawing from design. And I didn't click OK. So I've been sitting here waiting for it to open. And yeah. Wow. Looks like it's a Monday. All right. So when it comes up, notice my view. This is not the front view, correct? So I want to come over here, even though it says front view, that's just the front of the part, but not really. So I want to change that. I'm going to go to top probably. Yeah, the top is what I want. The top is what I want to see here. Looks a little small. So I'm going to increase the size ever so slightly. 3 divided by 2. Which is the same thing as 3:2. And knowing I'm not going to need a lot of room for the other 2 views because they're so thin, that should work fine. So click OK. I'll move it slightly. There we go. And now what do I have to do? So I've got the front view stamped on there. Now what? All right, you can use the project view button up here or right click on it, projected view, then select it again. So you can right click anywhere on the page. Then move your cursor around. You'll see the different views. We need a top view. This is where some of y'all were messing up on your drawing sheets you showed me. You might have had this front view up top, but I've said many, many times, think of it in 4 quarters, right? Think of it in quadrants. The lower left quadrant is always the front view on a 4-view multi-view drawing. If you're going to add views, you can change that a little bit. But if you're only going to have 4 views, the lower left is the front. Then we project views to get the top view. Oops. I got a little click happy there. Project views. There's my top, isometric, and my back. Now, here's the only problem with what I've got set up right now. I do not have a view that shows me the shell. So honestly, I'd probably rather have the shell shown in isometric view, because even if you did a back view, it's not going to look like it's shell. You won't be able to tell that it's hollowed out. You're only going to be able to tell that from a 3-dimensional isometric view. So what I could do, and what I probably will do, is change this isometric view to show me the back side. So we're gonna leave it like we've got here. I'm gonna click check mark. I'm actually gonna go ahead and right now delete this isometric view. That's not the one I want. I'm going to go back to my base, right? Bring in the right base here. And I'm going to go ahead. I can go ahead and shade it because I know this one's going to be an isometric. So let's see. Home. What does home look like? No, that doesn't work for me. ISO Southwest. That might work. I can see underneath it. See how you can see underneath and see that it's shelled. Let's see if there's a better one. ISO Southeast, ISO South or North. No, the Norths aren't going to get me the one I want. ISO Southwest, ISO Southeast. I might go with ISO Southeast. Yeah, it looks like ISO Southeast is the way to go for this one. And change my size scale back to 3 divided by 2. Or you could just put 1.5. There's a lot of different ways to do it, 1.5. So that's what I'm going to choose. I'm altering it specifically to show the shell. Normally, I would not alter this. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay. Oh, all these dots. Remember how we talked about the hidden lines and stuff being a clutter hazard? So we're going to right click on this one, right click, edit view. And once I select it, I can change it to this first style here. And that'll clean up all that. Oh no, did I not? I didn't stamp it. So I'm gonna place it, change it to 1.5, and change it to south east. And we gotta edit that view, shade it. Close. Okay. Now I got the drawing sheet the way I want it. It's got my title of the part, passenger insert. It's got my name on there. That's good. Okay. Let's put some dimensions on it. Once again, those that have been turning in some drawing sheets for some of the parts that you made, you know how you made your first part and your second part and your third part and your fourth part from the video series. Make sure we're dimensioning it using normal dimensioning guidelines. So I put notes on everybody that had this error. So watch what I'm about to do. On this front one, I'm going to measure the overall height. What some of you are doing wrong, please pay attention to this so you don't do it wrong anymore. You go to dimension and then you grab the side and you do this. That is wrong. Because this is not the height of the block. So how do we avoid getting the wrong one? Well, you have to see where this is connecting. This is connecting underneath the fillet here and on top of the fillet here. So this is only measuring between the fillets. That is not a true measurement. So we want to click dimension and click the top side and then click the bottom side. I know it's going to take you 2 clicks instead of 1. Don't be lazy. So now we have the proper height dimension. We need the proper width dimension. Click on the left side, click on the right side, and place your width dimension. Okay? There's a difference between inside the fillets and outside the fillets. Now we've got to apply all the dimensions for each of these geometric shapes. I'm going to go ahead and put a center mark. We haven't talked about center marks really, so I'm going to put a center mark in there, in that circle there, showing that it's been a hole cut out. So, and when I dimension from the center of the hole to the outside of the part. Dimension from center, outside, bring that up like that. And then we're going to dimension from center to the top. I don't know how to do coordinate dimensions. I need to learn how to do that, just out of curiosity. All right, just playing around, sorry. So we're applying all these dimensions to make sure you're following along and dimensioning like me. I'm doing the easy one first, then we'll do the hard one. Now, 0.64, I don't think that was the measurement of this triangle, was it? Didn't it have 3 digits? 638. So this should have 3 digits. The computer's rounding. So I'm going to right click on it and see if I can edit my annotation. Or maybe it's double click. Primary precision, 2 decimal places. So if you have a number that you know for a fact should be 3 decimal places and it's not, double click on it, primary precision, change that to 1, 2, 3 to give me 3 decimal places. Now we had to mention the tips of the triangle here, the vertex to there, and the vertex to there. It's cluttered down here, so I'm going to swing this guy up, grab that number, swing it up. There we go. So location, location, size, location, location, size, location, location. Oh, I didn't put a diameter, did I? My circle. So I've got location, location, size for all 3. Now the star. This is where it gets a little messy. I could write in a note down here at the bottom and just say how I built it. And then say the triangle measured blank on the sides. I could do that to alleviate any, clutter of dimensions. But that's not necessary for the guys in the wood shop to know. Because the guys in the wood shop, they don't care how I made it. Right? That's not how they're going to be cutting it out. Or the guys that are setting up the machine to make the plastic mold. That's not how they're going to be thinking about it. So in our design, we just need to think about the size of the object. They can draw it or they can set the machine up to cut it out with measurements as opposed to with how we constructed that shape. So all we have to do is tell them the lengths of these sides and these angles. Set your angle. You're going to click on this line and then click this line. And then depending on which way I drag it, which way I move my mouse, look what it's doing. It's saying if I go this way, it's a 59.94. But if I come out in between those 2 lines, that gives me the 120. And I had to experiment to figure out which way was going to be least cluttered. And then we're going to dimension this single side here.
I can't get that the circle.
What?
I can get the 120.
All right. Watch me. So I'm clicking on this side.
Oh.
And then I click on this side. Now, that still isn't about placement. I still haven't mentioned if it's, how far away it is left and right, which is going to add more clutter to it. So I think what I'm going to do well, I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna dimension from maybe here to here. It's this bottom one that's gonna be the problem. It's cluttered. Maybe if I set it. Oh no, not there. Let it jump. Don't know me again. Nothing I can do. That just may be how that works. Maybe I move this back a little bit. Slide that number over there. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Well, if I'm gonna do that, then I might as well finish it from that inside one here. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. I get it. All right. The last two things, dimension the depth, 0.3. And then over here, oh, y'all let me forget. We didn't dimension the fillets. Yeah, I'll do the shell up there as a note. And there's really not a clear corner to pull on. So I'm going to pull it right here. Now, because there are no other fillets anywhere on the block, I'm not going to say ×4. I only do that if there's multiple fillet measurements of different sizes on different parts of the object. But putting an R2 on that fillet, they're automatically, you're going to know that it's for all of them. Then finally up here, we're just going to make a note. I'm just going to put a text box. And I'm going to just say shell, all caps, shell equals 0.01. That's all I'm going to put. Yeah. Did y'all see how I put a text box? So if I gave you, let's say tomorrow, I gave you a part or a schematic kind of like this and asked you to build the part, could you do it?
No.
No. What if it didn't have the star? What if it was just two geometric shapes, an extrusion, a cut, that kind of thing? Basic, right? Okay. We're getting there.
Where's the
We're getting there. What?
What's the hollow out tool called again?
Shell. It's under modify. It's not under create, it's under modify.
How much is the shelling gonna be?
0.01.